The tolerance for politics and for democracy in Ghana is really dropping.
Nana Akufo had a lot of good policies on paper, I must admit, as an economist. But these policies were disjointed.
I have the singular honor as a returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
to
the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana. This mandate also serves as a constant reminder of what fate awaits us if we fail to meet the aspirations of our people and govern with arrogance.
I was in Ghana and witnessed the 2024 historic election, with John Dramani Mahama won by a huge margin of more than 1 million votes.
Green, Ghana is green!
From the many conversations I had with people here, it's evident that Mahama has a daunting task cut out. What he must fix with urgency is the economy, which is at a crisis with rising inflation, as well as illegal gold mining, costing the country billions of dollars in tax revenues. In the next few minutes, I'll break down the key issues Mahama has to tackle in his second term in office. With a population of nearly 35 million, according to United Nations data, Ghana is West Africa's second most populous country. It's known as the Black Star of Africa, a symbol of the emancipation of Africa. It was the first sub-Saharan nation to gain independence in 1957. Ghana is also the world's #2 cocoa producer and Africa's largest gold producer. It's considered to have one of the most stable democracies in West Africa, a region dominated by coups, resulting in junta-led governments. That was seen in the December election, when the ruling New Patriotic Party conceded just 13 hours after the polls closed and days before the pronouncement of the final tally.
The people of Ghana have spoken. People have voted for change at this time, and we respect that decision with all humility.
But Ghana is at a crisis. After 8 years in power, President Nana Akufo-Addo leaves Ghana in a desperate situation, with rising unemployment, environmental crisis, and the worst economic crisis, with inflation hitting an all-time 54% high in 2022. While it has since gone down to 23%, that's still relatively high.
I think Nana Akufo-Addo is going down as Ghana's worst president. Unfortunately, he's one who came into office and we had so much expectation. I voted for him. I actually felt like it was independence, which I never got a privilege to see in 1957, and it was just happening. Because the Mahama government at the time was bad. A lot of scandals, but a lot more impunity. But then I don't think we had seen impunity. Everything that Nana Akufo-Addo's government has largely done has sort of reversed and got us to even rethink what we even thought was bad. Because that bad seems today comparatively looking good, but it still wasn't good.
Ghana in 2022 defaulted on its $30 billion sovereign debt. Unable to recover, it turned to the International Monetary Fund for a $3 billion bailout. Like many countries, Ghana's administration blamed the economic slump on COVID-19 and external factors such as the Russia-Ukraine war.
The COVID was like he opened up the weaknesses within our domestic economy. Before COVID, we were borrowing so much.
Things went south so fast that people literally had no money and could barely survive.
The economy is affect everybody from Ghana. Because of the the man not do anything. If you go and buy something for your friend something, if you sell cry, it's hard. If you go and buy this thing 2 cedi, they sell 5 cedi.
Coupled with the high cost of living is unemployment. Agustina studied nursing, but is part of the 1.9 million Ghanaians who are out of work, according to government data.
Currently, I'm not doing anything. I'm in the house. I'm jobless. Let me put it like that. So I just come here to help my auntie. So at the end of the month, she gives me something small to put in my pockets. Yes. And let me say, this nursing aspect, there's no employment.
Illegal gold mining, locally known as galamsey, is an issue that Ghana has dealt with for years. The outgoing government promised to bring an end to it.
I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter.
But it keeps getting worse.
The reason why Ghana company is saying that we might be at risk of buying water, what they are saying is that soon, at this rate, we won't even be able to remove the substance that makes the water brown from the water bodies. We just can't do it.
President John Mahama has promised to ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves, but his predecessor Nana Akufo-Addo also announced similar measures in 2024. Now, for every painting, color is essential, right? It brings out emotions and conveys the message. Would you believe me if I told you Israel used polluted water to paint?
When I got there, saw how thick the water was too murky. It just occurred to me that I could actually use this to paint. And I tried it and it worked. Like, the water is so bad.
While illegal gold mining isn't happening in the capital, Accra, residents worry about its ongoing ripple effects, from poisoning the food they eat to the drinking water, which affects their health. Experts also attribute the rising temperatures of the climate crisis to illegal gold mining.
Some parts of Accra, people complained that their tap water was brownish and all that. And all of a sudden I heard my sisters complaining about the water, our pipe water, that it's brown, we cannot drink it. I checked and it was true. It was not pure, it was not drinkable. For some time now, pipe water in this country hasn't been drinkable.
The failure of President Nana Akufo-Addo's administration to address these and other key issues led to its overwhelming loss in the December election.
This election was not about John Mahama. He didn't end the votes, all right, on his own merit. It was given to him because of the demerits of the existing government.
Being in Accra for more than a week made me understand just how low the level of trust towards the outgoing regime is, and indeed the incoming one.
I don't expect the next government necessarily to come and impress that much, I have to admit, no. But they have a chance to. But having been so disappointed, I managed my expectations this time.
Now, much is expected of President-elect John Dramani Mahama. He inherits an economy in shambles, a need to clamp down on illegal gold mining, and pacifying disgruntled citizens. Mahama needs to deliver the promises he made, otherwise the people will vote his National Democratic Congress party out in the next election.
We don't support e-living. We will not support e-living. Count us out of it.
Mahama promised to scrap taxes such as the 1.5% electronic money transfers levy, the COVID-19 levy, as well as the 10% levy on bet winnings.
We would be initiating important governance reforms and sometimes initiate severe measures in the next 4 years to reset our nation and bring it back on track as the Black Star of Africa.
He also promised to reset the country by implementing the 24-hour economy policy to increase productivity.
24-hour economy sounds very progressive on paper, but in terms of implementation, my view is that we don't have any roadmap. The government, the president-elect doesn't have any roadmap to be able to do that. Why am I saying so? To be able to do that, you need to invest into the security. So, like for example, referring to the Ghana Police Service, very little, because when people will be working at night, you can't wait. The risks, armed robbery is going to increase.
Expecting to drive reforms that will empower people economically, people's sense of responsibility by an example. I expect him to run a modest government, an efficient government, to show people that efficiency pays. I expect him to have better clarity in his economic policy, defining a future for our children and our children's children, not political rhetoric.
But you know, Mahama has been president before. His previous term was marred by frequent power cuts and corruption allegations.
The government of John Mahama, one, will not be welcome. The government of Nana Akufo-Addo, 1 and 2, will not be welcome at all. So nobody should think that that has become our norm. It's not our norm. If it was our norm, we wouldn't have this kind of vote.
Recent events in Ghana's election shows that most citizens have little tolerance to bad governance. Most people here say that the vote was more about teaching the ruling party a lesson and sending a message to subsequent governments.
The ultimate political power rests with the people, and Ghanaians made that very clear, as in many African countries in 2024.
Our democracy is maturing, whether it's in the SADC or Central Africa or West African region or East Africa. It is really maturing to the point where Africans are realizing that they can make fundamental demands of their leaders and also create the future that they want for themselves.
It is now incumbent upon Mahama and his administration, as well as other governments across the African continent, to deliver on their promises. Otherwise, the people who voted them in will vote them out.